In this video, we're going to be going over the big uranium news the past couple weeks. We had a slight pullback, but with the Sprott $3.5 billion prospectus increase, we've also had some big mergers and acquisition, things going behind the scenes, a lot of offers. I'm going to be going over in this video Deep Yellow and Vimy. I believe Deep Yellow is going to be a tier 1 producer during this uranium bull market. Within the next 36 months, I'm going to lay that out. I'm going to compare them to Paladin because the founder is John Borshoff, the founder of Paladin. He is now the CEO of Deep Yellow. So we're going to go over that, but hit that like and subscribe button below if you like these videos. We're going to go over first what happened with the uranium stocks in Australia. As you can see right here, this was the closing price. Everything pretty much recovered to the previous day after the Sprott news. This is very bullish for the sector. People like this. But we'll see how it goes today. Like I said earlier, Sprott Physical Uranium Trust up the units to 3.5 billion. Yes, that's the ceiling. So there's going to be a lot of spot uranium taken out of the market within the next couple years. They might blow through that by summer, maybe even winter next year. At the latest, I believe. So that's very positive. But first thing we're going to go over here in this video, what I really want to talk about is I want to compare Deep Yellow to Paladin. Now, the reason I want to do this is because the CEO of Deep Yellow is the former CEO and founder of Paladin. So Paladin did the 104,000% gain in 4 years. Obviously, the market cap was a couple million, and they went to like close to 5 billion. So we're going to compare those, and I want to show you how good of a company Deep Yellow is. And I did add shares recently to Deep Yellow. One of the reasons why is because I believe right now in the uranium market, we've had a pullback, and I think people are starting to realize that not every uranium company is going to get into production. Most people know this. A lot of new investors, they believe just because there's pounds in the ground, they might have believed that they would get into production. Even if management says that, it's probably not the case. But Paladin, this team at Paladin, the people here on this management team at Deep Yellow were the same team for the most part at Paladin. Majority of those people, I think John Borshoff was in his early 50s during this Paladin run in the early 2000s. So a lot of those people were in their 60s and 70s. So some of those people have since retired, but John Borshoff and some of the key members are still there. So they're at this team with Deep Yellow. Now, one thing that I like is that John Borshoff has skin in the game, very similar to his Paladin time, which is about 3.23% right now, about 12.3 million shares. And same thing with Paladin. He had about 14 million shares. It was about 3.59% of the float. So this is very good when you have a uranium company. You want the CEO, of course, to have skin in the game. Another big thing is we have a lot more shareholders now, double the shareholders. This is 4,000 for Paladin back in this is 2005, by the way, all this data. And as of currently right now, there's about 8,167 shareholders in Deep Yellow, and 186 over $100,000 invested. And I am one of those. I do believe in the company, like I said. And 173 this was back in 2005. So that's a positive upside. Another thing that I like is the free float is about 30% overall, only 30%. So it's a lot harder to get shares compared to some other stocks because 69.47% of the shares are actually held up by the top 20 shareholders. So they're long-term, obviously investors. They believe the price of uranium is going to go up. They're probably investing because they believe John Borshoff will get this company to become a tier 1 uranium producer. So they are an open pit mine. Same thing is the Langer Heinrich Paladin mine. They're in Namibia, which is a great uranium jurisdiction, lots of uranium, very good support. So developer to producer, that's what they're looking to do. Obviously become that tier 1 uranium producer. So annual production projected is about 2.5 million, just as the project that they have right now. Tumas project. So very similar to Paladin's Langer Heinrich. Merger potential to grow, yes. So right now, Vimy Resources, they actually had made an offer. I'll go over that in a little bit. Could be also Lot, 4Cs. EL8, Bannerman, probably not the last two, I would think. More or less, I think Vimy, obviously John Borshoff, it's very close, a lot closer to them than Namibia, so it would be nice to see them get an Australian mine up and going. Same thing, that's an open pit mine, Vimy's is. So the bad thing about Paladin was that they started late to do a lot of these M&As. They had some issues with Summit, a company. They went into litigation back then, 2006, 2007. So they waited kind of too long. So I think this is kind of perfect timing to take out, to merge with the company. Early on, like I said, we've had this offer with Vimy, but like Paladin, they waited too long. So that's one thing I think we're better. Also contracting. One of the big things with Deep Yellow is they haven't filled up their contract books yet. Paladin, they had a lot of contracts filled previously in about 2006 before the uranium price started to reach that peak. So contracting is very important. And that's one thing I think that John Borshoff this time around, the M&As, the contracting, he wants to fix that. Those were things that he, that some people might have thought that Paladin messed up with. I believe that they're going to fix that this time around. Debt ratio, there's a lot less debt too. Obviously, right now we're in a uranium bull market. We're at lowest interest rates right now. So we're starting to see, a better time right now. I think we had a global financial crisis during this time. So it really kind of hurt Paladin. But the debt, very low, obviously. If anything, that's the great thing about this right now. ETF, we got the ETFs buying as well. We didn't have that much volume in the market back then. Interest rate risk, it's a lot less. Like I said, lowest interest rates right now. Back then it was like 4 or 5%. It's another good thing. The share price, obviously, this is in USD right now. It's about 74 cents. Back then it was about $1.50 converted. It was not trading on the US markets back then, but the market cap is about 4 times, Paladin was about 4 times what it is during this time. And now spot price back then, we're actually a little higher spot price than they were during this time with Paladin. So this is really big to me. I really think Deep Yellow is very undervalued. If you're just comparing these right here, you can see the market cap 4 times. If we get to Paladin's market cap, which I think we could actually break this, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But 4.5 billion, there's an 1800% upside or so, an 18x. It's going to be a long road to get there, but with recent things with the Tumas project, they recently upgraded. There's actually 125 million pounds. It's a 280% increase. It's obviously lower ppm, but the mine life also went up, which this beat Langer Heinrich. You can see 105 million, 17 years. Same thing with shares. There's less shares, 281 million. There was about 434 million back then. Cash on hand, there's more cash as well than they had back then with Paladin. Production start about the same, about within 3 years. That's what about happened back then. They started this about 2004. They said that they were going to get this Langer Heinrich mine up, and they lived up to what they said they would do. I think John will do the same thing. 2025. The only things, these are 3 things that I think need to be fixed to make them like top tier. I think they need to do the M&A with a company like Vimy so they can up their resources. This will put them here in the green, which is obviously better than Paladin. If they can get that grade up, the Vimy, I think it's like half, 500 ppm, 100% owner of the mine of that project they'll merge with. And then this will be well over 500 million pounds, is what I think they'll get it to. Deep Yellow right now, if we look here, this is the mining, this is the valuation of mining companies. Just very simply, Deep Yellow is in this orphan phase right here, this orphan period, and this is a big upside if they can get to production within the next couple of years. That's why I think, an 18x is not out of the question with $200 uranium. With contracting, that's big. If John can get contracting at the right times, which I know he can, this time around, right as that price possibly peaks or it even goes higher, I think it's really going to help them. So this Vimy takeover, this Vimy merger will actually be very good for the company. Paladin went from this concept over here to full production, and then obviously it declined. Global financial crisis. There was debt. The Summit stuff, they had issues with that. During this time, the contracting, I think, is one of the biggest things, the global financial crisis. So Paladin, how can, Deep Yellow get there? These are some things that I always like to ask CEOs. So the capital allocation, a lot of companies have bought spot uranium. Maybe might be a smart thing that John will do. Like I said before, skin in the game. John Borshoff has 3.23% skin in Deep Yellow. Acquisitions. The acquisitions with Vimy, Lotus, EL8. Acquisitions are a big thing. I think that's going to really help grow the company. Smart leverage managing debt. Like I said before, no Summit issues this time. Hopefully they don't go, there's no issues. They're not overpaying for things too late in the cycle. No dividend. Don't see that as an issue. That'll help the stock. Stock buybacks, possibly. It'd be great if they bought back, just add shareholder value. Minimize taxes, Namibia. One thing about that is I do like the exchange rate. If 95% of the production team of Paladin was from Namibia, they pay less there. I think the average salary for someone there is like $450 a year. A month. So they'll well pay over that, obviously, to their crews. But the thing is, the exchange rate, that could help them somewhat, depending how inflation goes. Decentralized organizations, so having that multi-jurisdiction, the Australian and Namibian uranium projects, that's really going to help them, I believe. Cash flow, so contracting is key in this with John Borshoff and the team, and they know this. And then getting in production, Tumis in 36 months, they could do this. That's their pipeline. 36 months, boom, we got this big upside. 10x plus, I think easily with an M&A. For sure, they could get into production with Tumis, with uranium price going over $100. I think that's really going to start contracting soon. And this is, these are some of the things that I really do like about Deep Yellow. One thing, yesterday, John Borshoff, was actually today this was released. John Borshoff reiterated why they want to do a proposed merger with Vimy. And really, John lays out a big, to Vimy shareholders, and because Vimy was somewhat wanted to talk to Deep Yellow about this. They even said that Deep Yellow put this out there, but this really gets a lot of eyes on Deep Yellow, and they believe that the Mulga Rock project, for Vimy shareholders, this would give them a path forward to develop that. They said that with Vimy shareholders, they will be obviously diluted with a capex number of about Australian $393 million. Though with a market cap of around 280 million and a cash balance of 22 million, Vimy shareholders will be diluted as the company moves forward. So Deep Yellow's proposal would de-risk this development for Vimy shareholders by creating around $670 million market capitalization combined group and 95 million cash in the bank. Vimy shareholders would become Deep Yellow shareholders and be able to share in the upside of what we believe is a significant first step in sector consolidation. So obviously this Deep Yellow board, we talked about it earlier, they actually are able to bring up these type of mines. They're a lot of the people there were a part of that Paladin, first mine being brought up, Langer Heinrich. So mining uranium and getting it up, it needs valuable skills, and these teams possess that. So as the Mulga Rock will be the first uranium mine ever built in Western Australia, this carries tremendous responsibilities. So the Deep Yellow team has previous experience at delivering greenfield uranium deposits through to production. So starting a new uranium mine like Mulga Rock has risks with the need for manager experience to solve technical construction, commissioning issues, along with community engagement, environmental, and government approvals. Deep Yellow brings an experienced corporate and managing and marketing team with strong relationships with uranium utilities, end users, and financiers. So the proposed transaction with Vimy significantly de-risks a highly complex project while at the same time preserving increasing upside potential for the existing shareholders of both companies. It is this background Deep Yellow approached Vimy regarding a merger, noting that a number of key Vimy executives have chosen to pursue other interests prior to full development of the Mulga Rock uranium project. So Deep Yellow respects Vimy's decision to pursue a strategic review and examine all potential avenues for growth in the interest of their shareholders. Deep Yellow still considers an agreed merger between the two companies. It is the best alternative, combining two uranium juniors with the objective of creating a well-capitalized, independent Tier 1 producer. Finally, the Deep Yellow board remains open to the opportunities to engage with the Vimy board at the appropriate time. Yours faithfully, John Borshoff. So this is big. So if you don't know, Vimy CEO Mike Young, this was pretty big, caught a lot of people off guard right before the uranium bull market. He exits. David Cornell exited yesterday. So to me, this is telling me that the board of directors obviously is getting cut out. Some key players are gone. So they're going to need good management. Deep Yellow could fill that, and we'll continue to monitor this. I believe that Deep Yellow is the best prospect probably right now for Vimy as far as management teams, because they do need that. Now, if we're looking at spot here, I wanted to bring this up. We're still up about 41% on this 3-month run with spot. So if you looked in the past, I've showed you this before, the runs took 12 months to go from about where we're at, 45, 46 to 136, 200% increase. So we're far from that 12 months with this new prospectus increased 3.5 billion. That's going to be big. So uranium stocks, we've seen the market caps of a lot of these uranium stocks go up a tremendous amount. Not all of them have reached their full potential, I think, right now, and Deep Yellow is one of them. Should be trading a lot higher. This is for the year percentage. A lot of these companies like Vimy is up 600% for the year, 154% since spot. And if you compare them to like Deep Yellow obviously has not ran as much. I think that it has a big upside, 155% for the year and 54% since spot. And you notice that a lot of these stocks have been down. This is as of yesterday, the 22nd, but I think they're going to start to recover today on that prospectus news from Sprott. But if you look at this, since the lows, obviously a lot of these stocks have just ran like crazy, and we're going to probably continue to see this type of thing going with uranium. We're starting to see, if you look here, just inflation's taking off. Any energy related commodity just in the past few months has just taken off like crazy. For the whole year, everything's pretty much up. Uranium's still trailing back there. Lithium, metals, we're looking at big thing is food too. Look at the monthly on food. Oats, coffee, 16%. So inflation's here, there's no doubt about it. We see industrial, we see a lot of things going up, which will just raise the price of everything. We're in an inflationary environment. The US, I believe, right now has started to say that they're going to release the oil reserve. So they're going to start to use up a lot of these commodities. Same thing with uranium. We're running low. We're going to need to replace that. And right now, with the way things are going with inflation, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has been reinstated for a second term. Going to be, that's actually going to be a big catalyst, I think, for the market. Biden picking him again. So we're going to start to see a lot more money, I think, flow to the uranium sector. Now, with this little pullback, like I said, I did sell and take profits on some. I got rid of some laggards in the uranium market, and I have added to Deep Yellow. I have now 400,000 shares. I will be continuing to add to this stock as things progress. I think right now it's very undervalued. Like I said, an 18x if it gets back to Paladin's market cap. It could do well more than that, because if they contract at a right time, they're going to be bringing in a lot better numbers than Paladin was. You know, and also I think that this multi-jurisdiction, getting those mines up, is going to be big. You know, they're going to be a tier 1 producer, very likely. And with the M&As going on, with what's going on in Australia, with a lot of these companies, there's definitely going to be some M&As closing very soon. So if you guys like this video, hit the like and subscribe button below, and I'll continue to make these only if you guys really do enjoy these, because I enjoy them myself and I want to make sure you guys like them. So until next time.